receptivity and willingness to assist by the United States and South Africa, this partnership can only grow from strength to strength.
I feel like it's 1961, Bill Clinton and John Kennedy, and we're the first two going to Ghana instead of going to South Africa.
When I found out it was service in South Africa, I volunteered right away.
I'm really excited. I have a lot to learn. There's so much that all these new people will be able to teach me, but I hope to also pass along some inspiration and encouragement as well.
Learn a lot from them. And that's what I really hope to achieve.
I've always wanted to go to South Africa. I met lots of people that were from South Africa, had friends from South Africa, and they were very inspiring and very amazing people.
I was pretty happy, pretty honored to be among the first to go to South Africa. Ground zero, first group to South Africa.
Ready, quiet, please. Action.
Hi, I'm CD Glin.
Now and action.
Hi.
Action.
Hi, I'm CD Glin. Hi, I'm CD Glin, a member of the first Peace Corps group to go to South Africa. And we just want to say, good morning, America!
The PCVs who do such wonderful work, and we wish them well.
Stories you'll bring back and give me the exclusive when you do. Patrick Swigert is the 15th president of Howard University, and he is himself a world traveler, so he knows the value of seeing a bit of the world. Your president, H. Patrick Swigert.
Several years ago, President Mandela received his first of what was to become many, many American honorary degrees from Howard University. Just a few months ago, we had the privilege of hosting Archbishop Desmond Tutu. Both occasions gave us the opportunity to pause and reflect upon this institution's relationship to the new Republic of South Africa and also the university's responsibilities globally. It's therefore fitting and we think quite appropriate that this mission, which is so important for this nation as it is for South Africa, begin here at Howard University. We want to thank the director, Mark Gearan. We want to thank the men and women of his staff, and most especially we want to thank the volunteers for giving Howard University this singular honor and opportunity. Thank you very, very much.
As some of you may know, the person responsible for running our Peace Corps program in South Africa, our country director, Earl Yates, graduated from Howard University in 1967. So, President Swigert, we thought it would be appropriate for another graduate of Howard to introduce our keynote speaker for today's event. CD Glin graduated from this great university last May. With a degree in political science. And if any of you have yet read the Metro section in today's Washington Post, B3, the president tells me, it's easy to see why that at the age of 24, CD is headed to South Africa as one of our first Peace Corps volunteers. We only wish the rest of Peace Corps could get that kind of press that CD is getting. CD has told us that when he's completed his 2 years of service in South Africa, that he intends to bring these skills and the experience that he acquired as a Peace Corps volunteer back to Washington and to make a difference here in our nation's capital. Like all of his fellow volunteers, CD is a very special person. We're delighted that he will represent the Peace Corps in South Africa. Again, I urge all the students here at Howard University to follow in CD's example. Think about joining the Peace Corps. Our 800 number is 1-800-444-8255. 424-8580. That's 1-800-425. Join me in welcoming CD Glin.
Director Gearan, President Swaggart, Minister Killian, and other distinguished guests. On behalf of my fellow Peace Corps trainees, I want to thank you for arranging this wonderful ceremony to celebrate our departure to South Africa. I can assure you that when I first came to Howard University, I never imagined that I would be heading for South Africa as a Peace Corps volunteer so soon after my graduation. And I certainly never imagined that I would have the honor of introducing our keynote speaker in front of my family, my friends, and my fellow volunteers in the Blackburn Student Center. But I think I speak for all of us when I say that today's events demonstrate that we made the right choice when we decided to join the Peace Corps. We are about to embark upon the adventure of a lifetime, one that 20 or 30 years from now is sure to hold a unique place in all of our hearts. The chance to be the first Peace Corps volunteers to live and work with the people of South Africa is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and we are very excited and maybe a little bit anxious about the many challenges that lie ahead of us. Yet we are honored to help the people of South Africa build a better future. Let me also say to my fellow students at Howard, I hope that this ceremony will lead you to think about joining the Peace Corps. I decided to join the Peace Corps because I wanted to travel to the land of my ancestors, help develop a country there, and bring the knowledge, skill, and know-how acquired back to help make America a better place. So I encourage each and every one of you to consider joining the Peace Corps when you leave this great university. I can't think of a more distinguished individual to help us celebrate our departure for South Africa than our keynote speaker. Few Americans did as much to advance the cause of freedom in South Africa as Reverend Jesse Jackson. He was a leader in the international efforts that helped bring about the end of apartheid and the creation of a new South Africa. Here in our country, Reverend Jackson has been a leader and a powerful force for education, civil rights, economic opportunity, and many other important issues. For me and countless other Americans, Reverend Jackson has been the source of pride, inspiration, and hope. In other words, Reverend Jackson is someone who could easily be a Peace Corps volunteer. So Reverend Jackson, on behalf of my colleagues, I am pleased to present to you a certificate of appreciation from the Peace Corps. And an application to become a volunteer. I hope you will fill it out and give it to Director Gearan because it is the toughest job you'll ever love. Please join me in welcoming our keynote speaker, Reverend Jesse L. Jackson.
Thank you, Brother CD, for that North Carolina A&T spirit. I feel so honored today to have this privilege to thank you, Dr. Swaggart, the head of this great university, to you, Mark, and the other Peace Corps leaders and officials of government who are here today, parents and students today, to Peace Corps volunteers of previous generations. I suppose I should say to the volunteers going to South Africa today, happy birthday. For the day you are going to embark upon a journey wherein you will be born again. You'll be born anew, imagination will become reality, and dreams will be built upon dreams. Today, for you, is its birthday, the first day of the rest of your life. You graduate from looking at the world by looking at a map to looking at the globe. And the globe is so much more vast than the map. Happy birthday. The beginning of a new life, a new worldview, a mind expansion, emotional exhilaration. We are going there in some sense as change agents, but we, the change agents, are changing, which we've changed our policy towards South Africa. I shall never forget that bright morning when the Congress, by a one-on-one vote, never would have voted for sanctions against South Africa, when Ron Delmans put the proposition to the floor, and that was a voice vote. We're not sure yet whether the voice vote was yea or nay, except the Congress was embarrassed to say it was pro-apartheid. And so the help of our caucus in that Congress, a voice vote said sanctions on South Africa. There's some connection between the March for the Right to Vote in Selma and the voice vote in our Congress. Dr. King went to jail in '63, Mandela went in '63. Dr. King got out first. It was the same parallel struggle. NAA started 1909, ANC 1911. Connection between Tuskegee and Fort Hare. There's always been a parallel development. We who are African Americans probably have more in common with black South Africans than other Africans. By and large, because we came from the same system. Basically, English-speaking system. There'd be a lot of kinship, and haven't I seen you someplace before? For the freedom of South Africa, we took our case and debated on stages running for the presidency. 85 jailed for South Africa. And yet, as I thought about Jesse Jr., now Congressman Jackson and Jonathan and I going to jail for free South Africa, I was privileged by President Clinton to go to South Africa, heading the U.S. delegation to monitor the elections for a free South Africa. And there I sat between Ron Brown, the late Ron Brown, and Mrs. Clinton as those planes flew across the hill of South Africans' Klansmen. As they flew across that hill, across Robben's Island where Mandela had been jailed, one could not stop the flow of tears to watch how in a relatively short period of time we had gone from allies with an apartheid South Africa to the chief allies of a new South Africa. And that's what makes America great. We have the right to fight for the right. That's what makes America great. South African Peace Corps. A chance to give, a chance to live. That there's a law of divine reciprocity. You cannot help someone without helping yourself. It's structured, Dr. Pondon, the reality. You cannot, it is inherent, you cannot help someone without helping yourself. Thus you cannot, conversely, hurt someone without hurting yourself. So today you go to give, but in giving you live. As you cast your bread on the water, it will come back buttered like toast. It will not just be bread returning, it will be bread coming back toasted with butter on it. You go to give and you come back living. You went giving, you came back living. This is a great moment in your life. There's some failure in going to South Africa, not to play, but to learn and to give. When young America comes alive. 1955, Rosa Parks refused to go to the back of the bus. See, a 26-year-old grad student, Dr. King, student, youth, while the rest of the ministers' conference stood back, while the older order drew up in fear, Dr. King, 26 years old, said, better that we walk in dignity than ride in shame. Whenever young America comes alive, things happen. 1960, 4 students in Greensboro, North Carolina A&T, sat down to get hamburgers. They got handcuffs. They were threatened with expulsion from school. They chose dignity over dollars and degrees. Young America came alive with a value higher than the value of money. Dr. King came to Washington in 1963. African American living under apartheid. You know, we passed apartheid laws in 1896, South Africa in 1948. They followed our apartheid laws, you know. From Texas across to Florida up to Virginia, we couldn't use a single public toilet the day he gave that speech. Veterans of foreign wars, my father and others of them, shrapnel in their bodies, relics in their Bibles, had to go behind cars and trucks and trees and alleys to relieve their bodies in humiliation. Talking about money talk, for those who are mindless and materialistic, they would not use our money in a hotel, motel. I was arrested for trying to use a library in South Carolina, not South Africa, South Carolina, July 17, 1960. What's good about America is I went to jail July 17, 1960, trying to use a library, but July 17, 1984, 24 years to the day, I was keynoting the Democratic Convention in San Francisco. And that's what makes America great. The right to fight for the right. The right to change things. The right to make things happen. There is no justification for being an American cynic, because there is room for hope and room for growth. 1964, the Public Accommodations Bill. Young America came alive. The right to vote. Dr. King got the Nobel Peace Prize, and Lyndon Johnson gave him a White House reception. He said, I thank you very much, Mr. President, but we need the right to vote. And President Johnson said, you know, I like you very much. The fact is, I can't grant the right to vote. I would like to. The bad news is I can't, and the Congress won't. It's too conservative. You cannot have the right to vote. You can't have in the Ron Dellums and in the Maxine Waters. You can't have that. Now, we're with you now. We're together, but somewhere between Selma and Montgomery, we bled enough, died enough, and young America absorbed enough pain, a kind of domestic Peace Corps. A new world order. Oh, when you grow. You go to Durban, you'll see a real San Francisco. You go to Cape Town, go to Joburg. But back in the hills where there are no paved roads, where there is no hot and cold running waters, where there are no toilets, South Africa is both treasure and tragedy. It's extremes of wealth and poverty. Oh, what awesome potential, not just South Africa, but from the Cape to Cabinda, Southern Africa. Portuguese ripped out the infrastructure. The Benguela Railroad, they ripped out the structure of the culture. So you begin the process of not South, but Southern Africa. Oh, what a great moment to be alive. You don't need to have a gun to be an American soldier. You are the soldiers. You are the way makers. People don't make peace and war at the same time. People don't trade and drop bombs at the same time. You bomb who you fear, and you fear who you don't know, and the more you know, the less you fear. The less you fear, the less you fight. You are the infantry. You are the shock troops bringing down walls of ignorance, racism, and division. You are the shock troops of a new world order. What you take there that's most valuable are some values. that are shared values. You take the young South Africans your age, your capacity to dream, and maybe that is the ultimate weapon. Dream. That is this biblical story about Joseph coming across the field and his brothers. The Bible says his brothers conspired to kill him. They didn't say for pushing dope, or for rape, or incest, or killing, or lying. They wanted to kill him because he was a dreamer. What's so threatening about dreamers without guns? Dreamers tend to expand beyond the limitations of their jail cell. Dreamers are bigger than what is expected of them. Dreamers see worlds not yet. Dreamers are maladjusted. Dreamers disturb the comfortable and they comfort the disturbed. Dreamers live in the world of not yet. Dreamers don't adjust to the status quo. Dreamers aspire beyond their assignment. Dreamers. And here Joseph was a minority, a Jew in Egypt's land. Here Joseph, why did he upset his brothers? Because they had adjusted to oppression. And here was Joseph not aspiring to be the best cotton chopper in Egypt, not dreaming of being the best gatherer of wheat. Here was Joseph, here was a minority with a majority dream. Dreaming of being the economist for the entire country. He dreamed of not being able to live without saving his adversary and allies. Dreaming. Isn't that what made Mandela Mandela? No gun, no bombs, no chemical weapons on the Robbins Island in Cape Town. Dreaming beyond his jail cell like John on Isle of Patmos. Dreaming. This power to dream. When I was a kid, the woman used to babysit for my mother and all the older people that babysat for the younger ones, and her name was Miss Lizzie. And I'll never forget, Mama said Miss Lizzie died, which at my age 4, see, didn't mean nothing to me except, you know, Miss Lizzie died. And so then they used to bring the bodies home at that time in the living rooms. They'd bring the bodies out and have the wakes at the house, and neighbors would gather around. And so the hearse pulled up, and the men had to put the casket sideways to get in the little small doors, and they set up. And then, so mother, you know, she took me down the street to see Miss Lizzie. So put me on a little stool, and so I was looking at her, and my mother was crying. I didn't understand that, and so Miss Lizzie was laying there asleep. And so I figured mother was crying because she had not seen Miss Lizzie sleep before. But I knew that every time Mama left, Miss Lizzie fell asleep. So it was not new to me to see Miss Lizzie sleep. So I said, hey, Miss Lizzie. So Mama said, she's dead. I figured Mama didn't understand that before. So I don't touch her, she's dead. I said, Mama, can Miss Lizzie see? No, she's dead. Be quiet. Can she hear? She's dead. I said, Mama, what is happening? Can she hear? Can she see? No, she's dead. Mama, can she dream? I don't know why I said that. Can she dream? Mama said, no, dead people don't dream. Dead people don't dream. Dead people don't dream. And when you are not dreaming, you're dead. Dead people don't dream. When you are not dreaming, you're dead. Young America, don't compromise your dream. You can dream beyond your Robbins Island, beyond your race, beyond your side of town. Dream of a new world order. These changeless values as we fight racism in South Africa and racism at home. That's this biblical story where a man was walking down the street tending to his business, and 2 thieves jumped from behind the bushes, McKinnon, and robbed him and left him to die. And Jesus did not make the beaten man a hero because he was a victim. He didn't do anything except be in the wrong place at the wrong time. He said, now, I shall measure character. Watch this, students. I shall measure character by how you treat the beaten man. He said, one man of his own race, a minister, rabbi, reverend, man of God, saw him lying there bleeding, and he assumed he had done something to earn a beating. And the reverend, Bible in one hand, prayer book in the other, went to the other side of the street and kept walking to do his priestly duties, looking heavenly, going heavenward, ignoring a bleeding, robbed, dying man. That one kind of character, just be indifferent, just be busy achieving your own career goals, doing your duty, your function, your assignment. Another man of his own race, as in my brother. You know, people wearing candy cloth made in Taiwan talking about culture. You know that crowd? The man of his own race, the Levite saw the man bleeding. He went to the other side of the street, would not get his clothes bloody or dirty. You cannot be worthy unless your hands are dirty. Better that you have a dirty hand and a clean heart than to have clean hands and a dirty heart. You cannot be worthy unless you lift up those who are bleeding, hurt, whose bodies are full of stench. We measure character by how we treat the least of these. And so he said, another man, watch, of a different race. That's why I'm glad that the whites and the Asians and others are going, not just African Americans. Because your character is measured beyond color is self-evident. You can't brag about it. You did nothing to achieve it. You didn't work hard on color. Culture, habits, you just fell into them. So beyond color, the self-evident, beyond culture, your habits, it's something called character. You got to mean to have that. You got to mean to be honest. You have to intend to be selfless. You have to intend to help somebody beyond yourself. You got to intend to be honest and decent. Even the poorest among us can live above disgrace. You got to intend to live above disgrace and have honor. And so beyond color and culture is something called character. And this Good Samaritan, beyond, he's from a different country, different color, different religion, different language, and he stopped and helped the man up. Jesus said, aha, that's the Good Samaritan. You have to cultivate this character consciousness. You got to have it to recognize it. If you don't have a habit, you won't see it when it shows up. Beyond color, beyond culture is something called character. Take that character to South Africa and be a better people and make this a better world. God bless you. Keep hope alive.
The Reverend Jesse L. Jackson.
So to our new South Africa volunteers, for your commitment to help change a portion of events, and hopefully for the ripples of hope that you will bring forth through your work, I honor you. And for your commitment and your willingness to serve as a Peace Corps volunteer and work with all of us to help start and improve our program in South Africa, I thank you. And finally, for your 2 years of service in South Africa, we all wish you good health, and Godspeed.